Welcome to the Super Speedway.
What do you need for the last car on the lead lap so we can go get tires?
Just free this fucking thing up, please. Doesn't roll the center at all.
Copy, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
Sir, keep me away from that little fucker after this race, too.
What the fuck? Who the fuck was that? I think it was a 17.
Finally back in victory lane.
Take stock, boys. Hell yeah. Great work, DQ'd. Good work, guys.
Way to go, Chris Gale.
Great job, man. Great job. Put on a class there at the end, taking care of those tires.
Welcome to episode 355 of the Super Speedway Podcast, recorded Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. I'm your host, Erik Young, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. Happy April Fool's Day, James.
April Fools, yes. My daughter tricked me once this morning. So,
Nice.
Yep. She stuck a sticker on my TV and said that mom was selling it. And I said, for how much? And she said $100. I said, oh, no, that's not enough. I said everything has a price, but $100 isn't going to cut it. So
That's funny.
yeah. So yeah, it's been on. Erik, April Fools always reminds me, and I'm sure we've talked about this on the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
before,
we
but
definitely have talked about this on the podcast. I already know where you're going.
Why not bring it up for the new listeners one more time?
Right.
Back when you and I used to be colleagues,
Mhm.
now we're sworn enemies.
Right.
We combined to write a story about April Fools, an April Fools based story about NASCAR coming to our local racetrack.
Yes.
And that thing still, it's been what, Erik, 15 years
Yeah.
since then or so? That story still pops up from time to time.
Well, it's gone now, so it might not pop up anymore.
Well, you say that, but just last year, I sent you a note on some random Facebook group where somebody
Somebody
referenced,
noted it, yeah.
Yeah, somebody referenced our story about NASCAR coming to up to our neck of the woods in Michigan, and I just could not believe it because completely flabbergasted that thing still has legs.
Yeah.
It might be my lasting legacy for my journalism days. I don't know about you, but that's every April Fool's I think of that dang story, and it still comes around, man. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
there were even rumors not too long ago that track was going to get revived again, and it has not as of this point.
Has not. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, we put our stamp on the history of that place. That's for sure.
right. But hey, a few years down the road, we might have another NASCAR track in Michigan because the Owasso Speedway might have a NASCAR race. So.
Good Lord, man, that latest update that Rex put out of Owasso, and you know, I think people know that Kevin Harvick's coming to race. Kevin and Keelan are coming to race later this summer, but man, that place looks good. Holy smokes.
I'm super excited to get out there. And when it's done, man, it's going to be incredible.
It
Absolutely
looks like
incredible.
a professional facility.
Oh, it is. And it already, I mean, the grandstands were rough. And you know, you've been there.
I've been there a long time. Oh, yeah.
But, and I'm sure the grandstands hadn't been upgraded since then. But, man, when it's all said and done, that backstretch grandstand is going to be the small one. The one they're building right now. I mean, it's going to be just incredible. So, yeah. Good stuff.
Yep.
But we're here to talk about NASCAR, James.
Let's do it.
And we're here to talk about Martinsville. And we're going to talk about the Cup race, but we'll probably talk about the Xfinity race quite a bit. And then the truck race will get a little mention at the end. And hey, we got news this week too. So we got a lot of stuff to go over.
Let's get to it. Yeah, I think we're going to spend more time on one lap of the Xfinity race than we probably will for everything else. But we'll see.
Probably, yes, probably.
We'll see.
But the Cookout 400 NASCAR Cup Series, Denny Hamlin back in victory lane, as he says, as he crosses the line. What do you think of Denny Hamlin's performance, and what do you think of Martinsville as a whole?
11 against the world, right?
Yeah, 11 against the world. Yeah, I guess so. Denny wants to be the villain, right? Let's let him be the villain.
Kevin Harvick. I mean, Mike Joy first laughed at him about that. And then Kevin Harvick goes, man, the crowd was cheering for you and you did the flag.
I know.
You had him in your hand. Then you had to do the flag. So as you know, I listen to the Teardown every week. I love listening to the Teardown.
I did not listen this week, so
let me tell you, man, the Teardown, nothing. I enjoy the insight, but it gets my blood boiling at times, and I really enjoy. I really like. It's a fun experience for me.
Yeah.
You know,
when you get mad about it, you're not mad at them. They're just firing you up because
they're just firing
enjoy
me
it.
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good mad. It's passion.
Right. And so they were talking about my beloved Good Race poll, and they were both in the 40s. And I said, there's no way. I thought that was a good old fashioned Martinsville race. No lower than 70, I said.
Ooh.
No lower than 70. And I raised my finger as I was walking through the house, and I said, that's a 70% race. And the poll came out, and it was 51 or 52 or something like that. And I went, what did I miss?
274 laps of 400 led by Denny Hamlin.
That's just what we grew up on, isn't it?
Not anymore.
Well, can we set the expectations a little bit back just a tad? I thought that was a fine Martinsville race. I had no problems with that race.
So here's my take on it. I agree with you, actually, 100%. I would never have said that it would get 70% in the poll. I probably would have guessed closer to 50 or 60%.
Because we've lost faith in the...
Well, just because as much as everybody has bitched repeatedly about what happened Saturday, if Saturday's race was in the poll, it would be higher.
Oh, yeah. It'd be controversy galore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and there wasn't. I mean, listen, I do the audio clips before the show for the intro. I do them on Monday. And I had a hell of a time yesterday. You heard what it was. There wasn't much. For Martinsville.
Ty Gibbs one was pretty fun. I'm glad you pulled
Ty Gibbs one was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Especially when it almost sounded like he was going to cry. And then they're like, it'll be okay, bud.
Ty Gibbs, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But still, so I get it. But no, I personally thought it was a good race too. It wasn't a barn burner.
No, but there was good tire wear, and Jeff and Jordan were like screaming about we need to have multiple sets of tires. I'm like, guys, no, I really don't have a problem with this. There was tire fall off, and who managed their tires best, won the race.
Mark Martin says we need an option tire, and they need more option tires. He wants 50-50 option and prime tires.
That
I'm not against that.
I understand it, and I just don't think it was necessary for Sunday. I really don't. I really, really don't.
I think the thing with Martinsville, first of all, I think we've learned in the last 2 years, we should have learned that one thing that we can do to fix this car is tires. And two, the tires are temperature and weather sensitive. And they had the same tire here that they had in the fall with different weather, and it didn't perform as good, and I use air quotes, as good as it did in the fall. We had Bristol last year, where we had the same tire, supposedly, in the spring and the fall, and the spring was magnificent, and the fall was blah. Yeah. So, as much as they know, there's a lot they don't know.
I'm excited about Bristol coming up not too long here.
Me too. I hope it's just like
last year. We're going to do it again.
But, again, I still think the solution, if you really want to make Martinsville better, you give them horsepower, and you make them stop shifting. Yep. 4 times a lap, they're shifting at Martinsville, James.
Yeah,
that's
a
insane.
Lot, man. That's 800. How many? Well, that's you're in the multiple thousands of shifts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You're going around that joint.
Yeah. But no, was it a barn burner? No. Did we? No. I mean, but at the same time, like I'm sitting there at the end, like maybe we'll get a caution, but it's like I don't really want a caution because I don't really want to cheapen the end of this thing either, and have Denny dominate the whole race and then lose a race because of a stupid fluke.
Well, and they're talking about can't pass and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's supposed to be hard. It's Martinsville.
That is a thing that really frustrates me is the complaint that you can't pass because
you can pass, dude.
Yeah,
you can pass.
You just have to work, and it shouldn't be easy to pass people.
It should be hard, and it should. And I'll say it too. It should be hard to pass lap cars at Martinsville. Yeah. It is a one groove joint. You can't go up high and get around guys. You gotta.
I like the fact that the lap cars don't move over for them anymore.
Dude, it's old school. It's a little bit of rooting and gouging and getting yourself in there. And Denny Hamlin, drove one of, I would say probably one of the best races I've seen in a little while here, because not only was he managing traffic, he was managing tires. He was in complete control of the race. I almost visualize it as, Peyton Manning kind of approaching the line to snap the ball. Yeah. Just complete control and barking orders and doing a million things in his brain at one time before he actually makes the move. I thought that's exactly what Denny Hamlin was doing. He was a maestro.
Yeah. It's a tire wear race. That's a Denny Hamlin race.
And I don't understand. And I guess I understand new fans not getting it, but I don't know, man. There's just something
Jeff and
about
Jordan aren't new fans.
Well, I know, and that's what I don't understand. There's a craftsmanship to managing these races like this, and again, you know, if we get a green-white checkered finish, that probably jumps at 15% in Jeff's poll, but I don't think you need that all the time.
No.
We have enough chaos in the sport that when you have a race that's like this, I'm not even going to call it plain Jane. It was just I would say average or above average race. It was good. It was good enough. The short tracks have been such a bear to deal with lately that we're seeing progress in the right direction. And even if a race isn't as chaotic as you want it to be on a short track, this was still a better performance than where we've been. We've come a long way from the last couple of years on short tracks.
Well, here's the deal. Martinsville is not a track that you can pass at. It's just not. You're never going to be able to pass at Martinsville. So you're going to have two types of races. You're going to have a race where somebody dominates and runs away with it, or you're going to have a race where you have caution after caution after caution from single car spin, single car spin, single car spin, single car spin. It's just how Martinsville is. And I've sat through a lot of 500 lap races at Martinsville, watching Martinsville, where it's like, oh my God, can they just stop freaking spinning out so we can end this race? I mean, there's been races that feel like they've been 6 hours at Martinsville because of all this cautions.
You and I have gotten into decent debates over some of that. In recent years, where I was like, man, we got to get rid of the green white checkered.
Well, they've made this race 400 laps because of that, or that's one of the reasons. So I don't know. I congrats to Denny on a dominating performance, hell of a performance. And
just I mean, everybody who I'll even add to that. Denny had a great performance, yes, but everybody who ran in the top 10 in this race, it was earned.
Yeah.
There was no fluke coming into where you finished in this race is exactly where you deserve to be. And I will include Joey Logano.
I will argue with you on that a little bit though, because we did have a driver win stage one that shouldn't have had a shot to win stage one because he stayed out on old tires and should have not been able to hold the lead. And also then, I mean, he didn't run there because he had battery issues the rest of the day, like apparently half the Penske cars did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
To the point where they ran out of batteries. So, but yeah, I don't know. And I guess, part of the argument too is that there is, I mean, what we had 36 cars running at the end. We had 27 on the lead lap. There was a point where all the cars were still on the lead lap. So, I mean, I get it. I get the argument against it.
They almost all finished until Mike Joy completely jinxed them. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying the race was perfect. It wasn't. No. But it wasn't a bad race.
No.
Is there still room for improvement at Martinsville? Sure. Yeah, hell yes. I think there's going to be room for improvement until we put horsepower in the cars. But
I just don't agree with I just don't like the bashing of it. No. I just thought it was a fine day.
You either get what you got Sunday or you get what you got Saturday. And I'd rather have what we had Sunday than Saturday.
Oh,
and that's
100%.
Coming from me who loves chaos.
You love chaos way more than I do.
I was pissed on Saturday, so we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, we will.
How did we like the tire wear, man, and the black doors, the dark doors?
We talked about this a
good.
couple weeks ago. Yeah, there's definitely a dusting effect to these tires. And I mean, Denny Hamlin's got a lot of white on that new progressive paint scheme, and that bad boy was gray.
Yes.
When he was all said and done with it. And then I saw Larson on pit road when he pulled in, and it was like around the fender flare on the left rear tire, black, just completely black. So yeah, I love it, man. I love seeing tire wear. We've been screaming as fans for a long time. Get us some tire wear. These tires are too hard. Man, we got tire wear, and it's good.
It reminded me of looking back in like the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s.
Yep.
When you'd have that speed shot on the wall, and you'd watch the cars come around the corner, and they just race past the camera, and you'd see the strip of rubber that they lay down as they came by. You don't see that anymore because they're not laying rubber down like that anymore. But you saw it on Sunday.
Yeah. This is the second time now we've seen. Well, I mean, for the most part this year, I've noticed. I noticed it. The cars are really, when they finish these races, they've got a little bit more of a Days of Thunder tinge to him.
They tested softer tires at Michigan today too, so that's a step in the right direction for the big track. So
yeah, I heard the tire test went really good too from
That's
what I
good.
was seeing. So hopefully, I think I saw Chris Buescher did like, I don't know, like 16 different runs or something. He was working today, so that's good.
Nice, yeah. Let's learn.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher, they let Chris Buescher test at Michigan. Oh my god,
They did. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
That's gonna
Okay.
be a
Well,
problem.
he's
I
my
know.
pick for Michigan. Let's just get that in the books.
Yeah, he's already got the laps in. Yeah,
Jeez.
it's gonna be a little bit different. What was it today in our neck of the woods, Eric? Was
Yeah.
it 45
Holy
all
cow.
day?
Yeah, there's gonna be a winter storm tonight and tomorrow. So
Yeah, get the heck out of town, teams. Hurry up.
jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about another strong performance by Bubba Wallace? Third place finish for them.
Yep, he's putting it together. He's figuring it out.
Yeah, they're going to be in victory lane soon. They got to be, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
he's definitely in a good spot right
he's
now.
good at Darlington. Maybe he's a good pick there.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be good. He was good at Homestead, so I think there's some characteristics there that'll transfer here for him. So
Yeah. Chris Bell, obviously strong performance, second place finish behind Denny.
Yep.
You mentioned Joey Logano. He had trouble, ended up rallying back for an 8th place finish.
Ooh, he was mad after the race.
Yeah.
He was upset with Ross, which
Yep.
I don't even know if it was Ross's fault on this one.
Yeah,
honestly.
he wasn't the only. There was. I listened to Radioactive today too. Was it Larson? Somebody else was pissed off at Ross during the race too.
Well,
I mean, it's Ross.
Ross will do
right?
that.
This is a Ross Chastain type track where
Listen,
everybody hates Ross Chastain when you're done.
If you see Ross Chastain in the top 10 at the end of a race, at least one person's mad.
Yeah. The
Simply
biggest
how
thing
it
is
goes.
the interesting thing about this race is so many times the driver that people were mad at was not the driver that caused the accident. It was
Yeah, it
from
wasn't
3
really
cars
Ross's
back.
fault when he got up into Logano. That was more of a who was it on the bottom? Anyway, somebody
Well,
bumped
that's-
into.
That was the Gregson and Buescher
Yeah.
accident too. Like,
Yeah.
so the audio went on a lot longer than what I put in the intro, but Gregson went up and ran up next to Buescher's car and like doored him after he came out of the pits, and the crew's like, no, well, they're like, he got bumped, he got put on the curb and ended up in the. It wasn't necessarily his fault. Calm down. It's like,
Yeah.
man. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and there was also I think, let me see. I want to make sure I don't step on anything. It's not in the notes, but Austin Cindric, he's in like his dumping
Yeah.
guys era. if you want to,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. So the penalty report came out today, and I'm actually surprised he didn't get something because he's already kind of on the list. But
Yeah.
this is what it is, I guess.
NASCAR set the example in the Xfinity race. So
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
trying to look here. Ryan Preece again, strong performance from him. That's another one that he reminds me of Chris Buescher when
He's
right
always
before Chris
good
Buescher
at-
won.
Yep, short tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think what we saw at Bowman Gray, I don't know if I anticipated it, but I'm like, he was so good there. I'm gonna put him in a Martinsville for my fantasy.
Yeah,
lineup
you're
and
right.
kinda ride that.
Bowman Gray really did. Now that I look at it, Bowman Gray told us a lot about this race, didn't it?
Yeah, kind of going into it, I was wondering if it was going to show us something.
Yeah.
I know it's completely, it's definitely not apples to apples. But
No, but it's definitely a lot closer than the Coliseum was to Martinsville.
yeah, of course. Yeah, a little more of a racetrack than that. But
Yeah.
Another guy we should quickly shout out because he had a great day going until everything went to hell. But Josh Berry looked like he was going to be the class of the field again.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign. I know they had the battery issues and all that stuff and finished 32nd on the day, but led 40 laps. Looked like he was going to win the first stage and definitely be a contender. So that 21 car, man, they've already got one win locked in. This might be a multiple win season for that guy.
Not surprising to see him do well at Martinsville, though. I mean, this is like his track.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be on my list for Richmond when we get to there and Bristol maybe too, because he seems to have something going on. He's definitely, that car is so much more improved.
Oh yeah, night and day.
So much more
Except for the
improved now.
battery.
Well, and that was the funny part about the battery. They used so many batteries on the 21 that when Austin Cindric needed it, they didn't have any. That was the end of his day.
Yeah.
So yeah, poor Mike Joy was talking at that very exact moment about all the cars finishing, and then they pushed him behind the wall.
Yeah,
So,
literally he says it, and then they switch to the view of the car getting pushed behind the wall.
Yeah. Mike Joy was on his A game on Sunday.
Yeah, the nice thing about Mike Joy is that he will toe the line. He'll toe the NASCAR line, but if there's something that he disagrees with, he'll put it out there. He's not afraid. He's like, what are they gonna do? Fire me? Like
his comment on the dumpster fires being contained was vintage Mike Joy.
Yeah,
that was really good stuff.
Yeah, it was. I guess Todd Gilliland probably worth a mention too. 10th place finished him.
Yeah.
For
Oh
him.
yeah, it was another well-run race, well-earned finish for him.
I mean, you mentioned Ty Gibbs, 13th for him is a great finish for the season.
Yeah,
so
he had to battle for it, and that was probably I know that's not a top 10, but boy, they needed it.
Yeah, they were better than that though too. He did get whether it was really Tyler Reddick's fault or not, he did get dumped.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, one thing I was gonna ask you about, Eric, I just randomly thought of this, was, are you noticing the higher level of congestion exiting pit road?
Yeah, it does seem to be a thing.
And I was wondering if it's because of the efficiency of the pit crews now. They are going so fast that there's no
separation.
There's no lag in between entering and exiting the pits, and now we've got so much congestion because that got Barry early on. But I mean, guys are like, there's a lot of door banging and things coming to the exit of pit road. I really noticed it on Sunday.
It's gonna be something to look at on the tight pit roads. Dover is gonna be one to watch.
Yeah,
Bristol's gonna be one to watch.
Richmond will be one.
Indianapolis will be one to watch.
Yep, that's gonna be tight.
So that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about it, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, everybody's about the same speed on pit road now. So
we were talking about Barry, and initially on the broadcast they thought the contact was the problem. It maybe
the battery's
jarred
not
the battery
located over there anymore.
Yeah, but it's not. But it was just all that congestion, and he was leading at the time of the incident. So just something I was thinking about and wanted to just kind of throw out there. Maybe that's something we should just maybe keep an eye on as we're kind of watching the rest of the season play out here, because if it continues like this, I mean, these teams are getting so fast. Mm-hmm. I mean, these pit stops are all under, they're 8 seconds and under now. So it's getting a little crazy. Yeah.
Worth mentioning, Erik Jones ends up disqualified. Didn't meet
ride height too low.
Yeah. Didn't meet weight limit. Weight requirement.
Was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they had a weight limit.
There is no ride height anymore. It's the weight limit.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. And then Legacy said they're not going to appeal. They said they didn't meet their margins, so
they must have forgotten to put the lead radio back in the car.
Or maybe Erik lost some weight or something.
Maybe.
Who knows? Eating a little healthier these days or something.
Could be.
Taking up running.
Eating healthier from the pre-race inspection to the post-race.
Possibly. He's got a newborn, so maybe his sleep habits are changed. So there's lots of things.
Good theories.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Jimmy Johnson's team's not pushing the rules anywhere. They would never do that.
Well, Chad Knaus isn't working for him yet, so
right.
Maybe not.
55th victory in 693 Cup Series races for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, NASCAR media definitely covered my looking at my all-time wins list, but Denny Hamlin obviously tied with Rusty Wallace at the same track.
Yeah, there you go.
That Rusty Wallace got his 55th victory.
Yep.
My question to you, Eric, on that part of it was, what's the over/under on Denny Hamlin wins remaining for him? He's 44, right?
Yeah.
So any one of these potentially could be his last. I don't think that Denny's.
How many more years do you think Denny's going to race? He's not done this year
for the championship.
How many more years is he going to? How many more years is he going to be at JGR? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, at JGR, 2. I'll say 2.
You think this year and next year? He hangs it up after next year, or goes to his own team after next year?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's going to be post 45. That's a long time. I mean, Matt Kenseth was around for a little while, but
I give him one more year. So let me say
this year and next year, I would say.
I say one more after that.
It's hard to give those seats when you're winning races, though.
Yeah, he's gonna get a couple more this year, I feel like, and then I gotta say you gotta pencil him in for one win.
So
the next 2 years.
Okay, so let me set the over under at this. So 5 wins gets him to 60.
5's a really good number to set the over under.
What if I put it at 4.5?
Oh, 4.5. I'm going over.
Okay, you think he's going over? So,
Yeah.
okay, so you think he's a 60-time winner? In the
I
Cup
think
Series.
he's got 5 good wins left in him. Easy. Maybe not
It's gonna
easy,
be-
but pretty decent shot. He's got 5 good wins left in him.
Man, it's gonna be.
Because I think
it
he's going to
is
go a year
going-
longer than you do, though. Not to mention, I feel like he's going to go run partial over at 23:11 or something. That being
Yeah.
said, I don't think you win there in a partial ride. He'd have to be full time to win there.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch. We really have
There's
to
so
like.
many good Denny Hamlin tracks, though.
I know, but remember how this is what happens though, Eric. Like guys are really, really good, and all of a sudden it's just
They lose their
over.
brakes at Pocono, hit the wall, and never win again.
Yep, or they even like Martin Truex Jr. Like
Yeah.
remember he fell off, had a bounce back season where we're like, oh, Martin Truex Jr. might be a contender again, and then his last year just couldn't put it in victory lane.
Did Denny fall off? I don't
Denny
feel like
seems
Denny
to be-
fell off.
No, Denny is so I compare Denny more closely to Kevin Harvick. And Kevin Harvick seemed to go longer than most, and I think Denny Hamlin's going to be right there. Now, Mark Martin's probably the biggest outlier.
Yeah.
Because he had that age 50 season that was just ridiculous where he won 5 times. That's probably not happening ever again. That's asking a lot, but yeah, Denny's it's an interesting place in his career now. When I cannot believe we've watched Denny Hamlin's entire career like right before our eyes.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at it's funny looking close towards the end, and who knows what the end's going to look like for him now, but he's still a championship contender. He's still winning races. I think 60 is definitely on the table for him. I think that goal will be attained.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he's right there now.
Yeah.
So, God, I thought Kyle Busch was going to end up with 100 wins. So
It's true.
who knows? Who knows, man?
Yeah. Riley Herbst, 31st was your highest finishing rookie. William Byron is your points leader, 16 points over Kyle Larson in the Cup Series.
He had a better car than his finish too. That stunk. He got stuck on pit road and wrong place, wrong time.
Yep. Let's talk about the dumpster fire, James.
Let's do it.
NASCAR Xfinity Series, the Marine Corps 250, Saturday at Martinsville. Austin Hill gets himself a win, leads 1 lap, the last lap. But Austin Hill's not immune to being a dumbass in this race either. I would say probably most of the field is not immune from being a dumbass. But the guy who takes the dumbass prize definitely has to be Sammy Smith, who decides to, going into turn 3, run Taylor Gray. He Austin Dilloned him, man.
And then some.
The difference is that he wrecked himself in the process and half the field.
And also his own teammates' cars and everything else.
Yeah, he not only cost his teammate a chance at the $100,000 for the whatever the Xfinity thing is called, but he also cost him a chance to race forward at the next Xfinity race.
Yeah.
Because
Jeez,
he
man.
finished outside of the top 5 or whatever.
Did you see the Jeb Burton in-car of that?
No, I did not.
Okay, so I'll do my best to kind of synopsis it. So they're all coming to line, and Jeb Burton is somewhere in the teens. He was not up front. And his spotter is doing his dangdest to try to give him an update down the backstretch of what's going on. And his spotter, you can actually hear his spotter throw his hands up in the air. He stutters and he's like, just drive straight, man. Just drive straight. I don't even know, guys. I was like, holy cow. It was a whole, man, what a mess. Complete disaster all the way. Oh man. I don't know, Eric. We've seen some pretty dumb things before, but one might take the cake.
This was stupid.
This is up there with when Harvick tried to spin Kyle Busch for the championship spot.
Yeah. No, that wasn't stupid. That was just last ditch. That was
Wasn't for the win.
At least Harvick was going to gain something. This was all about. Now, to be fair, no, not to be fair, because I watched a clip.
There's no reason to protect him on this one, Eric. So go for it, man. Go.
Or not
go
Sam
unshackled.
Sammy Smith, just stupid ass move.
And then he doubled down in the post-race interview, and I thought he justified it for himself. And I was watching that part of it on my phone, And I had my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, man, you've had time to cool it,
Right.
and you're still wrong.
That's
Still wrong.
That's what they said on the download today. Junior said that he made it worse.
Yeah.
He got on the mic and made it worse.
Just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Just
That was one, Eric, where I saw it happen live, and I wasn't looking at Twitter or anything at this point. And I was like, Jesus, you got to be freaking kidding me. And that's when I logged in, and I was like, okay, I'm on the same page with everybody. We all the industry as a whole, for once, all came together to crap on Sammy Smith and everybody else for how stupid that was.
so Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, Bristol.
Yeah, that's a good one.
When that happened, was Earnhardt in the wrong in that?
His own fans booed him.
But that was less bad than what Sammy Smith did.
Yeah, because they were really racing hard.
Yeah, he was racing with him. He was there. He bumped him. It was a bump and run essentially. Just Labonte spun. This was not a bump and run. This was not moving a guy out of the way. This was a blatant I'm wrecking you.
You can't, and this is a video game move in my opinion. Yeah. You can't drive.
Oh yeah, I've done this in video games before.
Oh yeah, you can't drive from BFE like 17 car lengths behind. I know I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
But you can't come from that far back and plow somebody to the point where Sammy Smith's hood crinkled. That's how hard he hit him at Martinsville.
If you're coming from so far back that you wouldn't make the corner if the car wasn't there, then you're way over the line.
He didn't make the corner anyway.
Right, exactly.
Wiped everything out.
I like what Clint Boyer said. If it's really about respect or whatever, then they need to get rid of the security guards and let these guys fight it out.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing that happened. Those guys were starting to go after each other, and I don't blame Taylor Gray for getting after him.
No, because we saw a video of the ARCA series or one of the other series where Sammy did the same damn thing.
What's Sammy's deal with Taylor Gray? I don't know. They raced each other. I know they raced each other
a lot, I guess is the problem.
But Taylor in this race, there was some contact from Taylor to Sammy.
Yeah, but that
nothing
was fair Martinsville racing.
Yes, nothing.
Especially for this race, because this race was just we're gonna concentrate on this, and
I understand.
Thankfully, Sammy Smith gave us this to talk about, so we didn't have to focus on the rest of it. But this was not the only moment in this race that was just a mess. And I love chaos. I love this type of stuff. This was over the line for me.
Yeah, this was
over the line to me where I was ready to say NASCAR needs to do something. And NASCAR did something, James.
They did. Yep.
$25,000 and 50 driver points to Sammy Smith. Oh, by the way, Jeb Burton gets a $5,000 fine and Taylor Gray gets a $5,000 fine as well. All those are behavioral. Good with that? Is it enough? I don't think you suspend Sammy Smith for what he did.
No suspension. Well,
if he won the race, maybe.
I tell you what.
They didn't suspend Austin Dillon.
No, but they didn't let him in the playoffs either.
Right, but Sammy Smith didn't qualify for the playoffs.
That fine turned out to be how many millions of dollars to Richard Childress Racing?
Yeah, but that
millions.
That 50 driver points, he might as well not have showed up.
Right. That's a negative.
Yeah, he basically got suspended for the race he participated in, not to mention he wrecked his car.
Oh, man. Eric, I really hate that NASCAR has to make a decision on punishment for stuff like this.
No, I do too, but that's the thing is they have to because they've let it go and now it's out of control, especially in these lower series.
And I don't remember who said this, so I apologize. It might have been Jordan Bianchi. I can't remember. I like the idea that if you are involved in multiple incidents, that maybe you should just go behind the wall for the day.
Yeah.
Especially in the lower series.
I'd love to see a 3 caution or a 2 caution rule.
I think a 2 caution rule might help.
Yeah.
I think it might help. Now, a 2 caution rule doesn't help you in this specific situation because it's coming to the checkered flag. I understand that. But if we have to find a way to have some driver etiquette out there, and that might be the stupid word of the day or the stupid phrase of the day. I don't care. These guys have to have some sort of respect for what they're doing out there.
Well, the problem is that they all learned on a video game.
Yes.
And when you wreck the car in the video game, you just hit reset, and you start over.
And I agree with Denny Hamlin. What he said in Actions Detrimental too. There's nobody policing these guys from inside the drivers.
Yeah, but and Dale Jr.
Circle.
addressed that though, and Dale Jr. Says if you think I'm gonna sit my driver out because he did something, he says you're nuts. He said you might as he says you might as well not tweet it because you're just wasting a tweet.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not asking Dale Jr. the owner to do it. I wish we had a Dale Jr. the driver out there with these guys.
Yeah.
To, I don't know, set the expectation or set the bar somewhere. Like, we don't have.
Can you
there's
talk
no respect
any
for,
sense into him? I mean, that's
no. There's no respect for anybody out there, Erik. There's not.
I think you're just wasting your breath if you go talk to him.
I think you are too. Yeah.
I think the only solution to this is you hit them where it hurts and you penalize them. And
you hit him in the pocketbook and you hit him at the points.
Yeah. I hate it because I hate more officiating, but
then again, like, you know, Erik, you say that too, and like Austin Dillon got a pretty severe penalty last year, and it ain't stopping anything.
Well, I mean,
Sammy
he hasn't
Smith
wrecked anybody else for the win.
Well, he hasn't. Well, I mean, those opportunities don't come very often,
right?
I mean,
especially if you're a Richard Childress driver.
Yeah, like as far.
Well, I mean, ask Austin Hill. It worked out pretty good in the Xfinity series for him.
Yeah, Austin Hill's happy about it. Yeah, he doesn't care.
I don't know. I don't know that there's a full solution to it, other than stop protecting them with security guards.
Yeah,
but the problem is then you got guys who won't. You got guys like Kyle Larson who will just get wrecked all the time, and won't do anything because they're not going to fight.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Kyle Larson because last week we had an incident with him. It wasn't as egregious, but I mean, he got used up.
Yeah.
And he's Kyle freaking Larson.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had Xfinity Series drivers use him up. So
maybe the problem isn't NASCAR because I don't know if you noticed, but there's not a whole lot of respect in the world, period, anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going with this. It's like, man, we just don't have any like self-control.
I mean, you want to see the lack of respect, just go make a political post on Facebook.
Oh my God.
Whichever side, don't matter. Just make a post. You'll see the lack of respect.
There's no respect anywhere.
No.
And especially when you're driving, you know.
Where's Aretha when you need her?
Yeah. Spell it for me.
R.E.S.P.E.C.T, man. It's right in the notes. If I was a really good podcast producer, I'd have that audio pulled up, but I don't.
And Erik, you know, and I wonder too if these young drivers, they don't think they're all trying to get to the same goal, right? They want to be in the show. They want to get to the Cup Series, which ain't that much better, let me tell you, when it comes to etiquette. But
no, it was good this weekend, but it ain't always.
But yeah, and I just wonder if, I don't know, they think they can't do it like Mark Martin did it, you know?
Well, I don't think they can. I don't think you can. I don't think you succeed. Mark Martin doesn't succeed in NASCAR now.
Erik, another example. Ty Dillon, remember when he won the championship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Martinsville, he just blew up his teammate, and it was like a hell of a week for him going into the championship round in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, that was bad. Was that Brandon Jones? Remember that? Oh my God.
Yep.
He took so much crap for that.
Yeah.
And he got to the Cup Series. I mean,
yeah.
There's probably a million reasons why, but
well, there's one really good reason.
One big reason, right? Yeah. But still, like, again,
when your last name's on the building, it makes it a lot easier.
I know. But it's not. It isn't just these guys, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's like an industry issue.
Yeah.
We've got a virus in there right now.
Well,
it's hard to clean it out.
Everybody's real tough when they're sitting in the driver's seat, but they're not so tough when they have to put their fists up, and I think that may be the problem.
That might be another, yeah. And I'll say this
which at
too.
the same time, NASCAR can't let them fight, because if NASCAR lets them fight and somebody gets hurt, now NASCAR's
somebody's
sued.
Gonna get hurt. Yep, and then NASCAR. Yep,
it's just the world we live in.
Yep. And I'll throw one more at you. The guys driving these cars right now, they ain't as talented as they were 10, 15 years ago.
Oh no,
because they don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
They have to win.
Yeah. They're
not perfecting their craft.
Yeah.
They are gunslingers.
Yeah.
They are out there seeking every single opportunity because it's so minimal, the opportunity that they have to be great. I mean, Jeff Gordon hired Jimmy Johnson not because of what he saw him do in a race.
Right.
He saw what he was
Yeah.
doing in practice.
100%.
And Jimmy was honing in his craft in practice.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a lot of other issues that contribute. I mean, it is a issue pie. I love using my analogy of break it down into pies.
Yeah.
Who gets to blame? Who gets this much and who gets that much? But it really is like we've got a systematic issue with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tweeted out it was gross. Like, it was gross. Absolutely gross. Did you like my tweet about when Junior Motorsports tweeted out that Sammy Smith was treated and released from, or was he was treated and released from the infield care center, and I reposted it and said I said he needs to be treated and released from his ride for a couple weeks.
That's a good one.
I was proud of that one. Didn't get as much traction as I wanted it to.
I do want to point out real quick that Sheldon Creed finished second in the Xfinity Series again.
14th time. You keep saying he's gonna get it done, Erik.
I'm out of that one now.
had it.
I think I'm over that one.
He almost had it, dude.
And I said that Justin Allgaier fell out, but I guess he finished third, so I was.
Well, he
there.
was crash bang all the way.
Yeah.
Crash bang.
I didn't know where he finished because everybody was wrecked on the front stretch.
It was a mess.
That's just where his
It
car
was-
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even really know. I'm not even gonna go through and talk about drivers who did well and whatnot because one, none of them did, and secondly, like the field is so jumbled up from the last lap that it don't even matter.
Well, Connor Zilic and Taylor Gray stood out to me as far as they were up front a lot and doing good things.
Taylor
for the
Gray
most
ends up
part.
29th.
Well, yeah, he didn't make it out the fourth turn. He just had to sit there.
What'd you think of Corey Day?
He's getting a lot of grief.
Yeah, his first Xfinity race. I mean,
It's too early yet. It's too early. Let's let him.
do you think it's a bad time for him to be coming into a series when Connor Zilic is doing what he's doing?
I mean, that's probably part of it, right?
Everybody expects him to be Connor, and
Yeah, and then you've got like Shane Van Gisbergen who showed up and won, and give him some time, man. Larson didn't set the world on fire in the Xfinity Series right away either. Like, let him feel it out a little bit. Again, we don't have a lot of practice, so he's gonna have to get some seat time somehow.
right.
So give him some time. I wouldn't. He's not a cross off or anything. I think just give him some time.
All right, there you go.
Let him see the track a little bit.
Let's see. 12th victory for Austin Hill in 121 Xfinity Series races. Highest finishing rookie was Dean Thompson in 6th. Justin Allgaier is your points leader, 41 points over Sam Mayer. And oh, by the way, this was Richard Childress Racing's 100th NASCAR Xfinity Series win.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
They've had a lot of decent drivers go through that program.
Yes, they have.
Erik, you know who was in this race? I was hoping you'd force me to say it.
Who's in this race?
I'm going to say it the way I like to say it.
Okay.
It's Matt Snyder.
Oh,
But I know it's not Matt Snyder. I know it's not Matt Snyder.
Myatt was in this race, wasn't he?
Myatt Snyder. I can never get it right.
Yep.
It's too southern for me.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he was involved in an accident. And sure enough, here he is. Accident.
He definitely
on
was.
the
Yeah.
notes, so.
I really liked him when he was full time. I wish he'd make it through.
I liked him in that Jordan Anderson car. To be honest, I thought he overperformed in that car.
Well, he was
at
winning.
times.
He won a race for. Did he win a race for Gibbs? Maybe I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can find that really quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dig that up because he does have a win in
the
the series.
Xfinity Series doesn't even deserve your time this week. We already spent too much time on him.
I know we did. I know. Yeah, he did win. He won for Richard Childress, one of the 100 wins.
There you go.
Richard Childress.
There you go. All right. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series was in action on Friday night. The Boys and Girls Club of the Blue Ridge 200. Daniel Hemric gets his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series victory, James.
Man.
What is that? Second NASCAR win total?
Uh-huh.
He's got a championship and 2 wins.
2 wins and a championship. Yep.
Crazy.
He's got this interesting career. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's another one. He's like the Sheldon Creed that has a couple wins.
Yeah. 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 He's a I don't want to insult him here. He's like a cockroach, man. You just can't kill that guy.
Right.
He's just around. He just keeps hanging around.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say about this race.
Corey Heim let this one get away. That's right.
Corey Heim let it get away. 149 laps led. I wanted to point out Luke Baldwin Obviously Tommy Baldwin was talking about him on DVC
Yeah, he's
this
been
week.
getting a lot of he's been getting a lot of buzz this week.
He ran really, really well and then had some issues, but I thought he looked pretty good.
Yep, that was his first ever NASCAR top tier start, I would say.
Yeah.
I'll call it that. But he's been in the modifieds for a little bit. He doesn't have the biggest resume just yet,
Right.
But in time.
Andres Perez. Is it Andres or is it Andre? Because I would say Andre.
Dude, I can't get
but-
Myatt Snyder.
But what's her face? I can't think of her damn name now. Jamie Little says it's Andres, so I'm assuming she's right.
That
Anyway,
sounds good.
Andres Perez de la Ra.
Wow.
I hope he doesn't move up because I won't be able to do that every week.
You got Shane Van Gisbergen eventually.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, I mean, 7th place finish, and honestly, there were a couple points in this race where I'm like, ooh, he might actually be able to freaking win this thing.
That's a Spire truck too. So
Yeah. He looked better than I expected him to look in this race.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I love when guys like that sneak in and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you got to like pay attention to them.
yeah.
You know, nobody quite like Shane Van Gisbergen, but you know that type of thing, you know.
Right. And then I'm going to do a weekly update from here forward. Frankie Muniz finished 33rd.
This is the weekly update.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
starts filming Malcolm this week.
Yes, so he's
so-
going to get busier. So probably
He's gonna be
struggle more
busy.
in the truck series.
Yeah, his DNF rear end. So
Yeah, there you go. Anything else with the truck race, James, that we want to talk about?
Norm Benning was in this race. It was good to see
Yeah.
Norm.
Yeah, good to see Norm.
Always good to see Norm, even though he didn't finish, but Norm was there.
First victory in 55 Craftsman Truck Series races for Daniel Hemric. Jake Garcia was your that's not Andres Perez de la Ra. I had to say it again. 7th was your highest finishing rookie. Corey Heim is your points leader, 20 points over Ty Majeski. So despite Corey Heim giving some away, he's still leading the points. Plus he's got the win. So
Yep. Erik, how old? I had to do it. I had to go in Norm Benning's racing reference. How old do you think Norm Benning is now?
72.
Oh, you're really close. He's
Am I?
73. Wow.
I figured he had to be right in that range.
Holy crap.
'Cause he was old. I mean, he was an old dude when he raced into the race at Eldora. I mean,
Oh man, I gotta tell you, I've been watching racing my entire life, and that is up there for me as one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
the middle finger was the best.
Oh, wow, poor Clay Greenfield just never stood a chance against
Yeah.
her. Norm's racing reference is just diabolical.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a 17-year Cup career. This is great. 17 years of attempting Cup races. He has 4 starts.
Oh wow.
Everything else is either a DNQ or a withdrawal.
Wow.
Unbelievable. 17-year list of zeros. Just a bunch of zeros.
That last chance race at Eldora, the first Eldora.
Oh,
with
it's
Norm Benning,
all-timer.
It is.
Oh my
It
God.
is way up there. Like I was there, James, in '91 when Davey Allison and Dale Jarrett raced to the line at Michigan, and that Norm Benning moment might be better than that.
Ah, man, the whole thing. I mean, that place needed that moment.
Oh, it was so
Oh,
good.
my God.
I mean,
Tony Stewart,
that whole weekend was magical, but
that was the moment from that whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That was the
yeah,
moment.
the one everybody talked about.
Tony Stewart could not stop smiling because
Tony
I've
Stewart
heard him
owns that
talk
truck.
yeah, and I know we've seen it. We've
Right?
we've touched it.
Yes.
We've been right in that. It's in the barn at Eldora. No, Tony Stewart. I've heard him say this. That Norm Benning and Clay Greenfield, that transfer made the he's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we have success
Yep.
because that was incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then all the teams hopped in to help fix that truck. That was just, oh, I'm smiling thinking about it. Every time I see Norm Benning in the field, he can start as long as he wants. Keep
Yep.
racing, Norm.
Yep. James
are
doesn't
one
want
of my
Mike
heroes.
Wallace to race, but he's all for Norm Benning.
Hey, Norm Benning competes every year, buddy.
If Norm Benning wants to try to attempt the Daytona 500, are you going to let him do it?
He's racing in the trucks right now, so I have no problem with it. Go ahead. He's competing right now.
I suppose. Four starts, you said? Cup Series?
4 starts in 17 years. I don't know what decimal point that gets you to, but
That's rough.
it's a 0 point something.
All right, let's talk some news. We got news this week.
All right.
Steve Phelps promoted to NASCAR commissioner. Steve O'Donnell promoted to NASCAR president. James, you have a theory as to why this happened. You gonna share it on the podcast?
Should I? You want me to?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think NASCAR is positioning themselves to make some changes, and putting in a commissioner would help with some of that.
I don't know.
Maybe if you wanted to sell it.
I don't know what the end game is here. I don't agree with you.
That's okay. I'm again, reckless speculation on my part.
Yeah.
So,
but it seems like out of nowhere, and I don't know. I mean, let me put it this way: both these guys deserve promotions. I think they've both done great things with NASCAR. I know that NASCAR still has its flaws, but I think, especially coming off of what we had with Brian
France's,
I mean,
I don't disagree with you.
So I have not been disappointed with how Steve Phelps handles things. I've not been disappointed with how Steve O'Donnell's handled things. Again, are they perfect? Hell no. I mean, but nobody is. I think
have to listen to investors, man. And
yeah, I think they've been good leaders for this. So
here's the thing about a commissioner that I think people may not think about or understand. Maybe they do. But you think of Roger Goodell, right? Erik, who is Roger Goodell's boss?
The fans?
No, it is the owners.
Oh yeah, you're right.
His job at the NFL is to make sure the owners are getting all that money.
So is that why we have a NASCAR commissioner now?
I am wondering if that is going to be part of it, because we've got this lawsuit with 2311 in front row. And I'm just wondering if having a commissioner allows you to have that better relationship with your franchises. I'm going to air quotes that, because that's what they're becoming. These chartered teams are pretty much franchises.
Right.
I wonder if that's part of the positioning as well, because now you've got somebody who has the best interest of the sport and the team owners at the same time, because that's who a commissioner works for.
Right.
Commissioner's job is to make sure the owners are getting that. I mean, we all thought Roger Goodell was an absolute dumpster fire, right?
Right.
Many years ago when the Ray Rice thing and all that stuff was happening. But what did Roger Goodell do through the NFL? And we all thought, this guy's an idiot. He needs to be fired. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He made a lot
NFL
of owners
continued to make money throughout his reign, and the owners are not going to let a guy like that go, because he is still making them money, and Roger Goodell to this day is making them money. So
I have a question for you. If you, with your sale theory, is your theory that they sell to a private company, or is your theory that they go public?
Oh boy, that's tough.
Because I mean, NASCAR historically bought ISC and took them private because they were public.
It's hard to say. Like, I could see NASCAR falling in the same line as what the WWE's trying to do with the UFC. So that's more like Dana White is kind of running the show for like this bigger conglomerate now. I think maybe that is kind of a mold. Like maybe NASCAR is the first piece of like some sort of a combination. I think down the road, I think we're many years away from something like that.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, who's got the money to buy NASCAR? Elon Musk is going to buy NASCAR.
Oh, God, Jesus.
And that's going to be the new manufacturer, Tesla.
Damn it, Erik.
There you go.
That's
my April Fool's joke for the day.
A really good show today. And you just burned it down. You burned it down. The funny thing about this announcement, Erik, and now, again, coming from Brian France, we survived.
Right.
We survived Brian France. And Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell have done a pretty good job. I was really high on these guys at the beginning. I am less high on them now than I've been.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
I think that's just time.
Yeah.
And that wears on time. But
I can't think of anybody who could replace them.
You can't replace them. They are, and that's why they're being promoted again.
Right. I mean, short of putting somebody like Dale Jr. in there, and even that, like, first of all, it's never going to happen because Jr. doesn't want it.
He doesn't have the business sense, though. Yeah. I don't think. Like, he's a racer. He's a race team owner.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah. I did see, so two things from the announcement that I thought were interesting. Steve is definitely going to be looking at international opportunity.
Not a surprise.
So that's going to be happening, and he has made no secret that he wants to go international.
Nobody's been quiet about that, so that's not a shock.
No. The other thing is in the announcement they said no two people in NASCAR have the pulse of the fans more than Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell, and I kind of balked at that. I'm like,
Steve O'Donnell's on Twitter.
I don't think they do. I don't think they understand us quite as much. As
that being said, James, is who's the fan? Are we the fan anymore? Maybe we're not the fan.
Well, you know what? That's a great point.
We think we're the fan because we've been here all along, but maybe we're not the fans. Maybe the fans are the ones that flipped on the TV on Saturday night over to CW on their TV with an antenna because they don't need cable to watch it anymore, and saw that finish and went, "Ooh, I'm gonna watch this. This looks good." Yeah,
well, we've been saying that for years, and I just don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. Because NASCAR claims that we're still the fan, that the core fans.
They did say the word entertainment in the press release as well. So
yeah, well, I mean, and that's like Mark Martin's talking today on DBC. By the way, Mark Martin's on DBC. If you didn't,
it was great. That. Yeah, he was great. I saw some of the clips.
But he's talking about that the integrity is more important than entertainment, and it is, except when you want to make money, and when you want to when you want to continue to grow, you're not going to grow on integrity. You're going to grow on entertainment. That's how you get more fans. And love it or hate it, NASCAR can't lose money. NASCAR needs to keep making money.
We just did a whole segment on integrity without even saying integrity.
Right.
And it is it is important, but the product has to have that entertainment factor. It has to have that pop.
Yeah.
It can't be cars stuck in a line, not passing each other.
Right. When you're competing with everything in the world on your cell phone.
Baseball hasn't done anything new in 200 years, Eric, and they changed the frickin' bats, and everybody's going crazy this week.
Yeah, right.
So you gotta have,
and the Yankees can have beards. So
you can have turbo bats, whatever the heck they're calling them now, right. Torpedo bats, whatever the F. Yeah. So I don't know. Listen. They are a steady hand, Eric. We know Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I could take the steering wheel and maybe pull it back the other direction from where they're driving it, but
I don't know.
Again, they're not driving us off a cliff either. So
yeah,
they're going to take care of us. They're going to take care of the sport, and we can disagree with them. And I think it's fair to disagree with them at times, but for the most part, I can't really bitch and moan about the job that they've done. They have done better than pretty much most everybody from beyond the heyday,
Right. And if they did everything that we want them to do, James, we wouldn't have a reason to have a podcast. So
right, and the sport wouldn't work. You got to have push and pull.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, no, I like the idea of a commissioner, and I really hope that the one thing I really do hope is that the bond between NASCAR and the owners is stronger with a commissioner in place.
Yeah,
I think Steve Phelps can talk to these people.
Lawsuit definitely helps that.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Maybe that can iron itself out. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, we had a fight. I mean, we all fight, right? We're right. Like, you and I are married. We fought with the wives,
right?
And usually the wife will finally have to relent, right? The wife's always right. So
well, and the other thing is it's business. So is it a fight or is it just business working its way out through the courts, which is what business does?
It's just business. Yeah, it is. It's just business.
But being in the middle of a major lawsuit is not a good way, not good for the sales aspect. Yeah. So
and it's multiple lawsuits now, right? It's
right.
both ways.
Yeah,
it's going back and forth now. So
I wouldn't be running in to buy them. So
no.
Well, we got a lot more out of that than I expected. So
I was ready to talk about that. I mean I like this kind of stuff where we're talking about leadership and direction of the sport. I find it fascinating every time. So
hopefully they can use that leadership and straighten up the Xfinity series.
God dang right.
NASCAR All-Star Weekend schedule was announced. Some interesting tidbits in here. I think the biggest one, most interesting to me, is that the Cars Tour will have their late model stock race, their feature on Friday night, and it will be on Fox Sports 1, James.
With the support of Flow Racing. So
yes. So if you want to watch it on Flow, you can still watch it on Flow. But it'll be on FS1, which is awesome. Hopefully the weather's good because we've had a lot of weather issues there, especially with the Cars Tour.
I think Keelan and Kevin are running that race too.
No, because Kevin and Dale Jr. will be in the booth.
Oh, that's right.
So they will be calling the race.
Is Keelan running the race then?
I don't know. Not sure.
Oh.
I don't know. Has Keelan run a Cars Tour race? I don't think he's run a late model stock race.
I don't know if he has, but I did see. Hold on, I'm gonna. You know what?
Because I think he runs the pro late model. I don't think he's run the late model stocks.
I think you're probably right.
Because that's what he's racing at Owasso when he races his dad. Is a pro late model, and that's what he's already raced. Or scheduled to race. Yeah.
I see pre-orders for the late model stock for Lionel, but
otherwise, Truck Series on Saturday.
Erik, sorry, I hate to interrupt you.
Yes.
Cars Tour Pro late model debut is going to have to wait. This was on March 1st.
Oh, okay.
So he's racing for Rackley-War.
Pro late model. You said pro late model, right?
Cars Tour Pro late model. Yes.
So that is not the big series.
That is not the big show. Yep.
Late model
so the
stock
pro late models. Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clear that up.
The pro late model is exactly what he's going to be racing with the Jeg CRA series as well.
Yep.
Those are pro late models.
Yep. Yeah. The Rackley WAR car.
Yeah. They're the crate late models is what they are. They're crate motors.
There you go.
So.
Yep. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah. By the way, I spent way too much time not too long ago, like last year, researching the different, because there's so many different types of late models. Back in our day, James, when we were growing up, there were supers. They called them supers. They were super late models,
baby.
That's all it was. Then they came out
Supers
with limited late models.
Limited late models.
Now they got pro late models, and there's different types of super late models. They've got late model stock. It's a whole thing. They're all different.
They're all
They all have their things. To me, the outlaw super late model is what we used to call supers. Those are the wedge cars. Those are awesome.
I love the wedge cars. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, NASCAR All-Star Heat races are on Saturday night. And of course, Sunday will be the Open and the All-Star race also Whelen Modifieds on Sunday for North Wilkesboro. So big weekend of racing for the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
And they're putting a new pedestrian bridge out there, so they're upgrading the infrastructure. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that's gonna have a points paying race eventually.
Oh, it's got to. Very soon.
Yep.
Very soon.
Yep.
We already mentioned the tire test at Michigan today. I don't know if we really need to dwell on that anymore.
Nothing else on that. Yeah, a few teams were there, including the R.E.S.P.E.C.T team, and I think Daniel Suarez was there for Chevrolet. So
there you go. We got a Cup debut announcement today. Coming to the Cup Series at Bristol is Jesse Love. There you go.
There he is.
He'll make his start in the 33 for RCR. First Cup Series start.
That's a third car that they can add that won't perform up to snuff.
Right. Well, I mean, now you got two people in line for that 8 car when Kyle Busch leaves. So
gotta get somebody ready.
Or you got somebody for the 8 car and the 3 car. You know.
Well,
Boston Dillon decides to hang it up.
Maybe, yeah.
So, let's see. Lionel is adding a surcharge to diecasts because of the tariffs.
That's fun.
I mean, if Lionel
stay in business somehow, man.
Lionel still had the quality they had back 10 years ago, I'd be willing to pay the surcharge. But
I saw somebody screaming that, why don't you just start manufacturing them in the States? I'm like, I don't know if you understand how that works.
Well,
that's expensive too.
I don't think our president understands that either. But anyway, I will move on so we don't have a big.
I didn't think you were going to go there. Okay, all right. Well, you brought up tariffs, so here we are.
I knew. Damn it! I wasn't. I almost took it out of the notes because I'm like, man, it's going to be a political discussion.
You did it again.
You can't do it
every time. You can't help yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to say something.
Moving on, news breaks today that Legacy Motor Club is suing Rick Ware Racing over a charter sale, James.
Yeah.
Word is, according to The Athletic, that Legacy met with teams January 6th to strike a deal, sign it March 3rd after agreeing on payment terms. We don't know what the payment terms were. Athletic guesses around up to $40 million. And apparently the word is that the target, or that it was going to go into effect for the 2027 season, but at some point Legacy must have changed the year to 2026, or at least that's the claim, without communicating it to Rick Ware and other Rick Ware Racing representatives. And thus we have a disagreement as to when this charter goes into effect. So first of all, interesting to know that Rick Ware Racing sold one of their charters. The other charter they own is currently being leased by RFK for the 60 car.
Yep.
So you would assume that that's not permanent then. That'll be coming back to them, you would think. Or maybe they'll sell it and get out.
So is Legacy? Here's the other question that I'm not clear on this. Is Legacy looking to add a third car? And,
Sure. I mean, why else would they buy a charter, right? They don't.
Right.
They're
Well,
leasing.
they don't,
I don't think they're leasing their other two charters.
I think they got the 42 and the 43, right? So what are they up to? What's Legacy up to?
Sounds
what are
like
you guys
they're
doing?
adding a team to a inferior team right now.
Oh God. We're
Somewhere.
gonna learn more about this. I highly doubt. I've been listening to Never Settle with Jimmy and Marty Smith every week, and I highly doubt this is going to come up. I would be shocked if this came up on the next episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Which I think the episodes usually drop on Wednesdays or Thursdays, so I will be stunned if Marty might. I don't know. Marty might ask him. He's asked him some tough questions already, so I doubt it though. I doubt it. We'll see.
So I'm looking right now. According to.
Because J-Ski usually has a team chart, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. But J-Ski's team chart is so screwy because these have sold so many times. So the 60 charter, where the hell is it on this list? Jesus.
Yeah, I know. There is a charter system list. Let me see.
The 60 is a Rick Ware charter. It is leased. So
yep, Rick Ware leased to and then the colleague. Okay, so
Petty GMS owns the 43. And where's the 42?
Oh, hold on. 51 Ware. So according to 2002, 51 Ware was sold to 42 Petty GMS. So they already have one from Ware.
Okay.
So Petty owns the 43 and the 42 via purchasing one from Ware. The 52 charter of Ware is the new 51 charter of Ware.
Yeah.
So that is one that they're.
Yes. So the Petty GMS 42 charter was originally
purchased from Ware.
Well, no. Originally, it was the 44 Petty. It was leased to Go Fast Racing for the 32.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It came back to the 43 for Petty.
Mess.
And then Rick Ware Racing had it for 3 seasons.
Yep.
What does P stand for? Partnership. So Rick Ware Racing had a partnership with Petty. So Rick Ware Racing did not own it.
Gross.
Well, I guess they did because it says it was sold.
Yeah. I see this charter sold. Yeah, it's a mess. Rick Ware's a mess. Rick Ware has a charter sold 3 of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
They've swapped charters. They've moved charters.
Well, they didn't sell a charter this year. They leased a charter.
Yes, 60. So the Rick Ware, the 15 car races on no charter. It is leased to the 60. So they are a charterless team.
And what is? I guess we don't know what the rule is for how long they can be leased now because we don't know what the charter agreement says.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Yeah,
I think it used to be 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a 2-year thing, and then there's also the performance factor of the lease or of the charter itself.
Right, but that's never actually been.
No teams have ever lost it because, like, if you're Rick Ware Racing, you give the 60 car that charter for a while, and that's going to perform better, and then you don't have to worry about it. So some of that was going on early in the charter system. We saw a lot more of that. We don't see that as much now, but
this chart is so interesting.
Yeah, it's a mess. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's a what a show.
Yeah, there we go. Now I got it. Now I got to bleep.
Sorry. My bad. We were towing the line tonight.
Right. Well, there you go. That's the news, James. That's all of our news.
At least I didn't call anybody a name. You know what I mean?
I suppose, yeah. Some of us do that now and then.
I always feel bad when I do that.
Yeah, it's all right.
We were, you know what? We've been a little loose with it tonight for the most part. So
right.
Oh God.
Checkered flags, James. Any checkered flags this week?
Oh, I do. I have a couple of them.
Okay.
Checkered flag to the White Lotus.
Oh, geez.
The TV show.
I'm waiting. I'm curious how. Is there a NASCAR connection to this?
Yes,
okay.
there is.
I'm excited.
There is. So one of the characters. I don't want to do any spoilers in case anybody hasn't seen it.
That's
so
true.
I'm gonna be careful.
I don't care, but
I want to be careful. I want to be careful. So we're getting close to it was the penultimate episode this week, and there's a little bit of a coup going on, and these two gentlemen are traveling to do a pitch, and one of them is wearing a Lowe's 48 hat.
Interesting.
And I was giddy when I saw that. I was all over the place. I was like, "That's Jimmy Johnson's hat. That's great." This show is probably what the most watched show on TV right now. I would guess.
Yeah.
Or the most talked about
It's
show on TV.
definitely one of the biggest.
Since Severance came off the air. So yeah. So on the White Lotus, it's an old school. I want to say probably 06, 07 era Jimmy Johnson 48 hat. I was really excited about it.
Interesting.
That's one. I have three. I'll do two more real
Okay.
quick. Quick checkered flag. This is the anniversary of Alan Kowicki's
You
passing
took one of
today.
mine.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Okay,
all good.
I'll let you speak on it.
That's all good.
Because you might have better memories of that than even I do. I mean, I remember it.
Well,
He was
my favorite driver. So him and Davey
okay.
Allison. So it was a bad year.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you speak on it. I'll move quickly past that.
Okay.
And then also coming up, so as you know, Erik, the trucks and Xfinity series are going to be running at
Oh,
the
yes,
Rock.
that's a good one.
Yes. So our buddy, former guest / co-host on this podcast, Derek Winter, is going to be performing the national anthem at the Truck Series race at the Rock. So I wanted to give Derek a shout out and tune in early. See what Derek's got as he belts out the national anthem for the Truck Series race as they
cool.
return to the Rock. I just thought that was really cool. He, the first race back at the Rock, he's going to be center stage.
That's awesome.
So awesome opportunity for Derek. I know he's trying to get his music career up and going. He's been doing some good things, and this is kind of a cool step for him. So I wanted to shout him out.
Very cool. Yeah, I wanted to go to this race. It's my wife's birthday weekend though, so I felt like not being a complete jerk.
I thought Kay got a month. Didn't she get a month?
Well, yeah, but it's the big 404 this year, so
Oh,
yeah. So
you
so
weren't
yeah.
supposed to. You might have to bleep. You might have to bleep
Nah,
another.
she don't listen. She won't know.
Okay.
she told me the other day she hasn't listened in a while, so it's all right. She won't know. This will be the
Sorry,
one she
Kay.
listens to. I'll be in trouble. But yeah, so yeah, I decided it probably wasn't a good idea, even though she said, "Oh no, that's fine. We could go down." It's like, no, I'm not going to do that because I will live it.
Now.
I will live it for the future. So,
Yep.
no, Alan Quickie definitely wanted to mention that. Certainly, yeah, remember that. Obviously, it was April Fool's Day. I thought it was an April Fool's Day joke, which was a horrible joke, obviously. But yeah, unfortunately, it was not. Quickie and Davey were both. As a family, my family always picked two drivers, and those were my two drivers, and so that was a really, really bad year for me.
1993, I remember.
To me, I mean, Davey was really my driver. Like Davey was my favorite, but Kowicki was right up there. I remember watching him. Was watching the Phoenix race when he won that race. I remember people being confused when he did the Polish
late
victory
80s.
lap.
Yep.
That he didn't know how to get to victory lane, and then come to find out he did it intentionally. Yeah, I mean, I remember there was a great race at Bristol that he won in the Hooters car. Just a lot of memories of Kowicki and his ascent to his championship. I didn't watch championship race that year. I remember going to the bus stop with my friends the next day, and asking if Bill Elliott or Davey Allison won the championship, and they're like, "No, Kowicki did." I was like, "Really? How the hell did that happen?" So
The Underbird, baby.
yeah, because that was Davey's championship, man, until Ernie Irvin.
Yeah. Well,
All-
and then
all Ernie.
Davey, a lot of the situation, but Davey wrecking at Pocono and
Yeah. Oh, Davey.
having to,
That was a terrible year for Davey, despite the fact that he almost won a championship.
yeah, really made that a closer championship probably than it
Yeah.
ever would have been if he was healthy. So,
Yeah. So
but yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah.
I remember very faintly Alan passing. I really remember Davey passing, and I don't know why the Davey part of it stuck with me more. But I did have a connection. My godparents were, they used to go to Talladega and a few other races every year, and they would always get together with Davey Allison. Like there was always some sort of like a fan club thing or something. And I remember pictures, and they had the diecasts, and when Davey died, I remember it shook them pretty bad.
yeah.
And that one stuck with me. But I was only when he died, I was 6, 5, 6. I was just formative years, but
Right.
but that's when Ernie Irvin became my favorite driver, like right after that, because he took over that car, and I think that was all part of it. So
Right.
But yeah, that was a tough year. But yeah, I mean, the images of the Hooters hauler leaving Bristol are haunting.
Yeah.
You know, tough time, man. But I mean, it's crazy that we had a champion who was gone. You know, not what, Erik, he ran 5 more races. He won a championship, ran 5 races, and it was gone.
Yeah.
It's completely gone.
Yeah.
It's probably the most shocking thing. That whole year was probably the most shocking thing until Dale Earnhardt's passing, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
That we ever went through.
And then, that race, the tribute race at Bristol, of course, it happened heading into the Bristol weekend. The hauler did the pace lap around the track with the checkered flag waving in the rain. I watched that race so many times because I recorded it on VHS.
Yep.
And so, but the thing with that race is I still couldn't tell you to this day who won because my recording ran out with like 10 laps to go.
Oh gosh.
So I don't think I ever saw the end of that race, but I watched up to 10 to go many times. So yeah, just a little tidbit.
Yep.
But
yeah, I'm not one to like dwell on passing.
Same.
I like the celebration of the life and the birthdays, and I understand.
Kawicki's is such an easy one to remember because it's April Fool's Day. It's April 1st, you know.
Yeah, and it's so monumental.
Yeah.
And I mean, we lost Davey in a helicopter crash not too long after. We lost Alan in a plane crash. It's just so, I don't know, man. It's just, you can't write script like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an outlandish story. And so heartbreaking.
Kawicki touched the sport in a way that
he rocked it, dude.
I mean, he was the underdog, and so
took it to him.
Yeah, and you know, something like that would be. I mean, obviously, I think Tony's probably the closest to have done it in recent years. But even Tony's story is different. I mean, Kawicki was essentially
partnered with Rick Hendrick.
Paul Andrews was the crew chief, but Kawicki was really the crew chief essentially. Kawicki made the decisions. He worked on the car. I mean, he was very at a time when they were moving to these multi-car teams and they were moving to these big shops and stuff. Kawicki still was the guy that was wrenching on his own stuff, like ASA, which he did before, you know?
Right. And for all we know, there is a chance he may never have won another race, or he could have won a handful of others, or, you know, we don't know what the future held for Alan. Yeah. Davey, we know that future more clearly. Like, that was a championship driver, you know, Hall of Famer. Davey was a superstar. Alan was the working man's driver.
Yeah.
An iconic paint scheme on that race car. I mean, the Hooters colors. Oh yeah. I know Hooters is going through it right now.
Right.
But man, I mean, I'll always, you know, there may never be a Hooters again, and I'll remember that dang race car. It's awesome.
Well, I remember I was 12, 10, 11, 12, and the Hooters Racing Champions car came out, and the card, because they always had a card with them, was Kawicki's car parked in smoke with a bunch of Hooters girls around it. So that was awesome to me, you know, like,
it was,
So anyway,
I'm glad we spent time on that.
Yeah.
We don't talk about some of the legends enough, and he's definitely, I mean, from our time.
And to be fair, you said he may not have won any other races again, but Jeb Burton did win in that car.
He did. Jeff Bodine did. Yeah, he ran when he got that QVC partnership and was able to kind of build that thing back up.
He won in the X-Side car at Michigan, 1994. I remember that race.
And the Hoosier tires, baby.
Yeah, that was the race that Ernie got hurt beforehand.
Yep. Yeah, he was good. And then he had the run with QVC. I remember that race car, and that number 7 lived on for a while. Robbie Gordon ended up with it. Eventually. So yeah, that team lived for a long time post Allen.
Yep.
But the Hooters scheme never ran again for the 7 car.
Yeah.
After that, and I remember too, Erik. There's one race where it was late in the season, but Jeff Bodine put that car in the front row next to Ernie Irvin in the 28. They were both on the pole for, I think it was Phoenix.
I remember that too. Yeah.
Ernie dominated. As soon as Ernie got in that 28 car, it was a rocket ship again.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have. Yeah. If Ernie hadn't gotten hurt, that would have been. That would have changed some history right there.
That's the Dale Earnhardt's not getting 7, the whole thing.
That 28 car could have changed history twice.
Oh my God!
Between Davey and Ernie, imagine what could have happened. If
and eventually that team did, and it just was under the '88 banner with Dale Jarrett.
Yep.
Eventually, it molded into that, but
that's true.
Man, I haven't seen her spend a lot of time on that, but I'm glad we did. That
There
was
you
good.
go. How about black flags, James? Any black flags this week?
Oh man, well we crushed the Xfinity series.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine. I was just gonna give it to everybody in the Xfinity series. So
Yeah, I think that's probably where we need to keep it.
works for me.
Keep it this week. Oh my god, I don't know if we can add anything to that.
I'm good. We'll leave it at that.
Perfect.
This weekend it's Darlington Throwback Weekend at Darlington Raceway, James, one of the best tracks in the NASCAR circuit. Highly recommend if you have not been to Darlington Raceway that you go to a race there. It's an awesome place. Great place to watch a race and just fun. You watch them in the turns. Every lap they're hitting the wall. It's great. Goodyear 400 is Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. NASCAR Xfinity Series is back in action, hopefully with some real racing this weekend. With the longest race name in history, the Sport Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200 on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on the CW. The Truck Series is off this weekend. I get first pick this weekend, James, and I'm going to leave the front open for you because I don't think you're going to pick the guy I'm going to pick, but I'm going to pick somebody who's going to finally freaking rebound because this past weekend he got his first top 10 of the season. The longest a driver has gone, I believe, without getting a top 10 after winning a championship, and I'm going to go Joey Logano as my pick this weekend.
Oh yeah, he's due. Yeah,
Gotta happen.
His rally on Sunday was phenomenal.
He's gone way too long without running up front at this point. He's got to run up front, and Darlington's a great
he's
track for
faster
him.
than he's faster than the Penske. I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
It's not a bad pick. So I'm gonna go with not to pick the previous winner by any means. But I was leaning towards Bubba a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like there's good mojo with Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, it's not
and
a
that
bad
19
pick.
car.
The only reason I didn't pick him is because they picked him last week. So
yeah, so I'm gonna go Briscoe here, and I mean, if he could win in that 14 car at the state that team was in last year, and now you give him one of his favorite tracks with a better team, I think he's gonna be a problem. So I'll say Chase Briscoe gets the job done.
what about Denny Hamlin?
I got another one for you.
Denny's a good pick this
What
weekend.
about Kyle Busch?
Yeah, I mean, has Kyle been good here? I don't think he's been good here since we've. Oh no, he was good in the next gen car. That's right.
He went toe to toe with Briscoe last fall.
He was leading the race in the
and
next
he
gen
almost
car
had
when
his
I was
playoff
there.
berth. Yeah, he almost had his playoff berth in hand. So maybe Kyle Busch.
Oh man, I would be so happy.
I'd love
I
to
want
see
him to
get
win.
back. We didn't mention the last winner of this race, Brad Keselowski, but boy, they are on a skid. So
yeah, I'd choose Ryan Preece over Brad Keselowski right now.
Brad's the third car in that team right now. It's weird.
Well, I mean, he's really
struggling.
he hasn't been the top car in that team since he bought that team.
Over.
So
I know. Yeah, but I don't know. I was hoping that they'd find a little more success, but he made a lot of changes to the to the pit box, and guys shuffled the deck in the leadership area. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they can get it going, but not looking good so far.
So James, where can we find you on social media?
Do you want to? Don't you dare! You tried.
I did. I wanted to see if you'd catch it.
You did. Why would you want to skip
no
the fantasy
reason
league?
to talk about the fantasy league this week, James.
Why would you want to skip it though?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me why I'd want to skip it, James.
Well, the winner this week was Team James, 241 points. Finally got the win, but I didn't gain much ground. Ranger, he was second, and then Smoking Girl Racing was third. Erik,
eighth.
I mean, consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent. Overall standings, that bumps me up to third, but Ranger, the 3-time champ, he's still in the lead. Smoking Girl Racing second. Like I said, I'm third. Erik, ninth. There you go.
Trash.
You tried to skip past it, though.
I did. That was fully planned. I planned that before I even wrote the notes this week.
Dude, the problem is I have the tabs open, and as we work through the show, I start to close them. That was the last one left.
I loved your reaction. The reaction was good. Now, James, where can people find you on social media?
At James Cush on Instagram or Twitter.
You can find me at T Super Speedway on X. You can find me on Facebook. Find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. The podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Wherever you found us this week, please subscribe for new episodes each and every week. NASCAR Throwback Weekend. We didn't talk about paint schemes because, Jesus, there's so many of them. It's just not worth it. But a lot of good paint schemes this weekend, especially in the Xfinity series.
Yep.
They might drive like boneheads, but they certainly know how to paint cars or come up with paint schemes.
I feel like their sponsors will give them a little more freedom in the Xfinity
Yeah,
series.
it's probably what it is they have more freedom to work with it. Plus, the numbers are in the right spot. So, but anyway, throwback weekend this weekend. We'll be back next week to break down Darlington and get you ready for the following week. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.